Comfortable.
Goes to the end zone, touchdown!
NFL Now, tomorrow at 1, live on NFL Network.
Monday on NFL Total Access, every defining drama and every magical moment from Super Bowl 55 will take you on the field, into the huddle, and under the helmet. This isn't just access, this is total access. Monday, 6 Eastern.
So, good morning football, as always. Start your day on NFL Network, recounting tonight's action, and then NFL at 7 a.m. Eastern. NFL Now, the aftermath, and NFL Total Access. That's the way the first day of the non-playing season starts on NFL Network on Monday. Earlier, Miley Cyrus, who is no longer Hannah Montana, Steve. I went to one of her concerts. She performed at TikTok Tailgate. That has nothing to do with a clock either, Steve. A first of its kind pregame experience for the 7,500 healthcare heroes that have invited to attend Super Bowl 55 right here in Tampa, Florida. All right, so Super Bowl MVP quarterbacks to repeat as Super Bowl champions. Troy attempted it once and it did not happen. And then Terry Bradshaw and Bart Starr are the only ones who did it. How about Bart Starr? Yeah. Just you won Super Bowl I and then you won Super Bowl II and you're MVP of both.
Yeah, and you won 3 championships just before that too.
Who's your MVP?
You know what? Out of the 54 Super Bowls, guys, 30 have been quarterbacks,
Sure.
okay?
Right.
And we are entering into an era where the quarterback plays even more of a role with our outcomes. So I'm going to go, since I said the Chiefs would win this game, it's got to be then Patrick Mahomes. They ask him to do so much, not just throw the ball, but run the ball, and RPO, the whole thing. It's going to be Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, and you both predicted 495. And the only way something else can happen is when Tom Brady wins this game and he throws for over 500 yards. Tom Brady in a year like no other will win MVP right here today.
You guys, you might as well hologram that your
Did you want a dark
trophy
horse?
for lock of the week in here, because I mean, I could have done that too. It's simple. Patrick Mahomes. I think the Chiefs win. Of course I could say Patrick Mahomes, but I went outside the box. I gave you the first tight end to win it because he's not really a tight end. He's one of the top pass catchers in the National Football League. I'm filling time by berating the two of you.
But it didn't say MVP out the box. It said MVP. That's it.
All right.
MVP out
Very
the
good.
box.
But I'm going with Travis Kelce. That's all I'm saying.
All right,
Super Bowl's almost here, people. So tune into CBS 15 minutes before kickoff to witness the NFL bring back coach Vince Lombardi, one of the league's most inspirational figures, a pioneering ally in social justice and namesake of the Super Bowl trophy, to deliver a speech for the ages to the nation. How about all that? And I've got an announcement I'd love for all of you folks to hear for the next segment. It has to do with raising money for St. Jude. That's coming up next here on NFL Game Day morning. Now deep afternoon, early evening.
What's my safe flight story? My truck is my livelihood. So when my windshield cracked, the experts at Safe Flight Auto Glass came right to me with service I could trust. Right, girl?
Safe Flight Repair, Safe Flight Replace.
At Lowe's, every weekend is a holiday weekend with big savings on home appliances. From what you need to what you want. Save with special values and free delivery on appliances $2.99 or more. There's no better day than today to shop appliances at Lowe's.
The DQ Chicken Strip Basket, now with house-made Hidden Valley Ranch, is a ranch dream come true. When you dream up juicy strips, all this, and house-made ranch. So follow your ranch dreams to DQ. Happy tastes good.
I wish I could wake up and say hi to a giraffe. Ride a train in the sky. And visit faraway galaxies.
Stay in the magic at a Disney Resort Hotel. So close to the parks, you can make all your Disney wishes come true. And now, you can save up to 30% on rooms at select Disney Resort hotels. Imagine the magic of staying here.
After the confetti falls in Tampa, we are live in stadium to wrap up Super Bowl Sunday with highlights, expert analysis, and post-game player interviews.
At the end of the day, you got to make plays.
Absolutely amazing.
NFL Game Day Final, tonight after the Super Bowl on NFL Network.
We arrived with courage, with stamina, with teamwork.
Welcome to NFL Total Access.
Nobody has the National Football League covered like us.
Talk to me about the pressures of wearing that 88.
We've got all the latest news.
A blockbuster trade. The Los Angeles Rams now think they have a rock-star quarterback.
All the in-depth analysis.
When you're playing against big-time weapons, you can't give up explosive plays. I knew he was a special talent. Touchdown!
All from the experts you trust.
With the ball in his hands, he looks like a running back.
Reporting on every team.
Urban Meyer set to finalize a deal in Jacksonville.
Every weeknight.
I like this type of party.
From every angle.
Let's dominate tonight.
It goes without saying that he is in a league of his own.
Nice job, boys. Put it hang in there.
And we've got it dialed in from coast to coast.
I believe this is injecting the locker room with hope.
Let's go.
Get your popcorn ready for this one.
It's all your football needs, all in one place.
It's lit. We out. There is your dagger.
NFL Total Access, only on NFL Network.
Beautiful night in the offing. Going to be in the low 60s, high 50s for Super Bowl 55. Tom Brady just came running out on the field, and the crowd roared with approval. It is going to be a memorable evening for all of us. The NFL recently announced that the 2021 NFL Scouting Combine won't be put on and broadcast due to COVID-19. And the Combine, as many of you know, has traditionally been the venue where I've been able to show my support for the kids of St. Jude Children's Research Hospital by running the 40-yard dash and my business attire to help raise money for them. Well, since that can't happen in Indy this year, we've decided we're not going to give up. We're not going to punt. We're going to have a little fun and put Run Rich Run in your hands. Today, we kick off our Run Rich Run campaign by inviting you to run your 40 any way you choose, whether this means a 40-yard dash, 40 steps, 40 minutes, even 40 errands for a neighbor in need. You could join me in raising money for the kids of St. Jude's by going to nflnetwork.com/runrichrun to register. And please don't forget to post your video of your take on this year's Run Rich Run using the hashtag of #RunYour40. Stay tuned for more information on when and where I'll run my 40 for St. Jude. And as always, thanks for your continued support of Run Rich Run. So I'm thrilled to be able to bring you that, and I thank everybody at NFL Network and St. Jude for supporting the idea of rebooting it. All right, guys, here we go. Yeah, ready?
Yes, sir.
By the way, that's a great thing that you do with.
Oh, you guys always support it too, and I love you guys for that.
We will again.
You know, and St. Jude is completely donations based. They need the money to make sure that families who go there for their kids in need don't see a bill for anything, travel, food, and obviously the health care. Yep. You ready for this one, guys? Ready to go?
That was a fun show. Went by just like that.
Just like that. How long was it?
8.5 hours, just like that.
8.5.
It was 8.5 hours, Michael. I mean, it was 8.5 hours.
There you got it.
I mean, how long was it? Now, I'm going to pull up just shy. Just shy. Just a little inside bet for inside reference for everybody who has been sticking with us for all this time. So look, I want to thank everybody at NFL Network and the NFL and everybody, all our producers, everyone in human resources, everybody who kept us safe in the studio and kept us safe here in Tampa. I can't believe that NFL Game Day morning went off without a hitch this year. Love you guys.
Love you too.
Another season of NFL Game Day morning is in the books. For everybody here in Tampa, I am Rich Eisen signing off. Enjoy Super Bowl 55, everybody.
Let's go watch.
Thanks, Dad.
Sure.
You didn't spin it, did you?
You asked me not to.
Switch to Progressive and you can save hundreds. You know, like the sign says.
Go get him, buddy.
I think the sketchy website I bought this turtle from stole all my info. Ooh. Have you looked on the bright side? Discover never holds you responsible for unauthorized purchases on your card. That's my turtle.
Fraud protection. Discover something brighter.
The Taco Bell Chalupa. So chewy, so flaky, nothing could make it fit. Well played, Bacon. Well played. The Chalupa just keeps getting better. The Bacon Club Chalupa, now at Taco Bell.
If there were one party for all of history's creators and pioneers, without question, that party would be thrown by the father of tequila. Cuervo Tradicional since 1795. The father of tequila.
Introducing Budweiser Zero. 0% alcohol, 0 grams of sugar. Full Budweiser flavor. For all the moments you want a beer and need to stay on your game. Budweiser Zero. 0 alcohol, 0 compromise.
Every morning at 4:30, you hear the cooks hop on the floor. It's hard times in the mill, my love, hard times in the mill. Every morning right at 6, don't that old bell make you sick? Hard times in the mill, my love, hard times.
Just when the NFL playoffs couldn't get any better, they did. Play NFL Pick 'em Party for free. 15 questions. Swipe to answer. Climb the leaderboard. And win a VIP trip to next year's Super Bowl. Play at NFL.com/pickparty.
T-Mobile is now America's largest and fastest 5G network. Right now, current and new customers can get a free Samsung Galaxy S21 5G, the leader in 5G coverage, the fastest 5G speeds, and a
Mahomes, Brady, Super Bowl. We just got to be ourselves. I trust my guys over anybody. The best thing about this team is we believe in each other, and every single time we hit the field, we leave everything we have.
Let's go. One more. We're at home. We're at home.
It's the last two quarterbacks to win the Super Bowl, as it turns out.
What we do? Damn, I looked at you like, I'm going to be dog. Keep the camera on me, dog.
Yo, that boy is quick as hell, yo.
He backflips into the end zone.
He can't go on me.
Touchdown, Mike Evans.
Let's go, baby.
Let's go.
We're going to Tampa. We're trying to run it back.
We're another Super Bowl, baby. What do you think? I love you, man.
What's up, everybody? You're looking at Cynthia Freeland, the queen of analytics, Greg Rosenthal, the king of all things audio, and myself, Andrew Hawkins, the emperor of bubble screens. We have come together for the thing that has made us TV stars, Game Day View, delivered by Pizza Hut. It is Super Bowl 55. We could not be more juiced. Cynthia, we're going to start with you. What is the thing you are most excited about today?
I actually get to watch a Super Bowl with my family. It never happens because we're usually there and we usually have lots of stuff to do and lots of work. But today I get to go home and you know what? We get to sit on the couch. It's going to be awesome.
Same.
Incredible.
That's a great answer. I've been married for 13 years. I've never been with my wife on a Super Bowl Sunday. This is also a game where like either team, if they're down by 14 or 20, I feel like the game's not over. Not that you'd ever turn off the Super Bowl, but I feel like whichever team's behind is going to make a comeback. I'm looking forward to that. I also don't know about TV stars, Hawk. I remember the kind of montage we showed the other day, best of, and I saw like 2 TV stars, and then I was like, there was a podcast guy next to them, and I was like, man, I need to get a show with people that aren't as good looking.
No, it's all branding, man. You even have the microphone to let everybody know you run the audio world. Okay, so look, let's get right into the chat here. We're going to start things off by talking about which QB has the advantage in Super Bowl 55. I'll start it off. I know Tom Brady has done this 9 times, more times than I've actually been a professional athlete myself, in case you didn't know that, Greg. But I'm going with Mahomes. Mahomes, this is a guy that I don't think you have an answer for. We've seen when the Bills played against them, they tried to follow the playbook that we coached everybody to do because the Raiders had a little bit of success with them and they beat them earlier in the season to kind of sit back, give them everything underneath. Don't give up any big plays. And what Mahomes did was he figured that out as well by getting the ball out really fast. I think he had a 5.8 yards per attempt, which is the lowest he's been all season. If that would have happened in the regular season, he would have been the second lowest amount in the league. How do you beat a guy that can beat you with a 7-yard pass or a 70-yard bomb? I think Mahomes has the advantage, Cynthia.
I think the one way you beat Patrick Mahomes is by having more deep plays yourself, which is something we've seen Tom Brady be really efficient with this season. The deep pass for the 43-year-old, by the way, I don't know if anyone has, I don't know how it hasn't come out till now that he's 43, But those deep passes, they're working for him this season. When you look to see the one time the Chiefs did get beat this season, it was the Raiders. The Raiders had more deep gashes, big plays. That was the one way that they could outscore the Chiefs. And Tom Brady has shown us that he can still do it. And also, he has been here before, and being here before, not just like the 9-time stuff, meaning with the receivers that maybe some have been there like Gronk and some haven't. So he's able to kind of corral them. So for me, that experience, that leadership, this is a super strange season, like all around in every way possible. But the deep pass is something Tom Brady can rely on, can give us to rely on.
Yeah, Brady is a great teammate. What people don't know, Cynthia is a great teammate. She'll do things like take Brady in this exercise just to help us out so we're not all saying Mahomes. When we all know Mahomes is the right answer. Are you kidding me? This is the best player I've ever seen. He's in the middle of his prime, and he's so good at what Tom Brady does well, which is pocket presence. So here's him moving up in the pocket on a key play against the Bills, a free rusher. He's not even worried about it on a 3rd and 6. These are the plays that win championships. When you dial up the perfect defense and Mahomes still gets you. Okay, he's got some great weapons too, but so did different players that were with the Chiefs, like Alex Smith before. None of them are Patrick Mahomes, and to me, he is the best to do it. As much as Tom Brady has achieved over the years, I got to take Tom Brady. Let's go to the next one. Best playmakers. And I think the choice here is the Chiefs. They're both great. The Chiefs are more top heavy. The Bucs are deeper. But when you look at Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill, to me, those two guys are almost unstoppable. The 7-yard throw to Travis Kelce is the most unstoppable play in the league. Last year, it was Lamar Jackson. This play you just saw to Tyreek Hill, it was like a 3-step drop, and they went 20 yards down the field. It doesn't matter what your pass rush is. That's how quickly Tyreek Hill wins. And if he doesn't, then you just throw it to Travis Kelce over the middle, who can beat your number 1 cornerback. He can beat double teams. It really doesn't matter. They are my choice. Do you agree, Cynthia?
I do agree with the side of the ball, and I think both of them are awesome choices. I read my homework a little bit differently because I want to point out the depth at the running back position for the Kansas City Chiefs. Playmakers, to me, sometimes they can come out of nowhere, and Darrell Williams really showed up when the Chiefs needed him. And given the fact that so many of the O-linemen are banged up, Eric Fisher not playing, or didn't have an entire practice 2 weeks with the team like Kilgore, there's a ton of opportunity here for that Todd Bowles defense to come and try to get after Patrick Mahomes. Well, the one opportunity that these playmakers have is to run the football right in the face of that pressure. So the depth at the running back position for the Chiefs, those are the playmakers that it might not show up in the traditional stats, but those are the guys that are really going to decide this game, I think.
Well, I respect both of your opinion, and I will respectfully say I disagree, which is a good thing because it's going to keep us off of meme alert. I'm going with the Buccaneers playmakers. When I look at it, I have to ask myself, okay, is it the quarterback making the playmakers as good, or is it the playmakers making the quarterback? On the Buccaneers side, it's the latter. I think these playmakers and Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, who had the lowest drop rate in the league, Antonio Brown, Gronk, they have potentially 3 Hall of Fame jackets. Now, that's not my place to give out Hall of Fame jackets, but this is Game Day View. This is our show. We're TV stars. I am allowed to do that. Okay, so when I look at Tom Brady, who's been in the Super Bowl 10 times now, I think this could possibly be his most talented team around him on the offense as regards to their playmakers. And I think Mike Evans is underappreciated, and I could see them having a huge day in today's game. The next thing we're going to defense. Now we want to talk who has the advantage on the defensive side of the ball. I'm going to double down on my last topic and say the Buccaneers again. I'm specifically going to point out Devin White, a guy who had 9 sacks this year, so you know he could blitz, you know he could rush the quarterback. In the playoffs, he's only gotten better. He's had 2 fumble recoveries, big fumble recoveries, an interception to seal it versus the Saints, and this guy is only in his 2nd year. He's been an anchor of this defense that has showed up when they needed him. Tonight will be a huge test for them, but I give them the edge over the Chiefs defense. Cynthia, what do you got?
Almost no one likes Todd Bowles more than me. He's just such an amazing person. But I'm actually going to point out the other defense because of the fact that Spagnuolo has so much experience against Tom Brady, and that's going to be a factor. If you saw week 12, they were able to get after him. And remember, just kind of overall, this Chiefs defense, they only were able to pressure opposing quarterbacks at the 10th lowest rate in the league, 23rd, number 23, but they dropped back into coverage, which resulted in having the second lowest completion percentage allowed to 10 plus air yard passes. So it was all about strategy. Strategy is going to come into play today in this game. And I think Spags and that experience on the biggest stage, I think that will be the difference maker.
Yeah, I waffled on this one. I think it's tough. Everything Cynthia said is right, and the Chiefs defense has played great in the playoffs. I went with the Bucs just based on the regular season and the overall talent. It's all three levels. The defensive backs have made plays. Hawk mentioned the linebackers, but man, the pass rush up front has been awesome, especially in the playoffs. I think Vita Vea being back opens up those one-on-ones for Shaq Barrett and Jason Pierre-Paul. Pierre-Paul, back when he won the 2011 season Super Bowl, was the best defensive player in the league, I thought, that year. He's had an unbelievable career, and he's playing fantastic. Shaq Barrett, we know what he can do. He dominated against the Packers. And Vita Vea, now a couple more weeks to get healthy, makes a big difference. So the slight edge goes to the Bucs, but a lot of respect to the Chiefs. Let's do some math. It's been too long, Cynthia.
I know we need some math in our world right now. So I'm going to look at Gronk here, and I think he's going to have more than 29 receiving yards. Number one, that's a ridiculously low number, especially considering how much 12 personnel this team plays. Number two, Cameron Brate was a little banged up all week long. You know who Tom Brady doesn't like to throw to? People who are banged up. And number three, if you look at Gronk's averages and the opportunity that he has here, with just one reception, he becomes the first player in NFL history to have a reception in a Super Bowl in 5 different Super Bowls. So I think 29 is too low. I'm going way higher than that. In fact, almost double. Greg, give me something sneaky to look for.
I love that. My sneaky good matchup is Chris Godwin over the middle against these Chiefs linebackers and safeties. Now, Gronk, he beat up on Daniel Sorensen back in the 2018 AFC Championship. It might be Godwin and Gronk beating up on him now. Their linebackers for Kansas City, I think, is the weakness. That's what Tom Brady's all about, picking out the mismatches. And Godwin is his number one receiver right now. I know Mike Evans is talented, but Godwin gets the most targets, the most yards, and I think he has the most trust, and he's going to be open over the middle a lot, just like Hawk used to be back in the day. What are you watching for, Hawk?
Oh, I got my Hawk's eye on somebody else who I like to get open over the middle. My man, Scotty Miller, who is their 4th receiving option. Now, you have to realize Antonio Brown is coming into this game banged up. Like Cynthia said, Tom doesn't like to throw to people who are banged up. So if in the event they don't get the production or Antonio Brown does not feel as good as they thought he would, look for an increased role for Scotty Miller, who's had a big playoffs. He's averaging 15 yards a catch because the guy is a burner. You know, Tom likes to throw to burners. They lead the league in the most 25-yard plus receptions. So be on the lookout for Scotty Miller. That's who I got my eye on.
Time for More or Less, everyone's favorite game. I hope you have fingers at home to play along.
I forgot the foam fingers.
Okay,
I do the whole show with them.
Where are your fingers?
Right here. Boom. Boom.
Boom, 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 boom. In addition to a bad hair day, my foam fingers are messing up the camera.
Oh,
They're right
I'm
here.
totally red now.
It's really hard to drink coffee with these.
My More got a Christmas adornment.
More or less game debut.
I'm going to go with less.
I'm going more partly because it looks so awkward when I go less. This has been one of my favorite shows. Watching Hawk just give away second place to me has really been enjoyable.
Ooh, spicy.
My 8-year-old son told me to, and again, I'm more or less is not brought to you by analytics.
We got to run them out one last time. The Foam Fingers Super Bowl edition. They're here. We all need these right now. Okay, let's start with the total score. 56 points, more or less than 56 points in this game. Ooh, lovely.
I know he's supposed to be confident in our picks. I'm not really sure who's going to win this game, but I am sure that there's going to be more than 56 total points. I think it's in the 60s. I think there's going to be great offense. I think these two teams are going to put on a show, and I feel great about it. If I could lock it up, I would.
I love it. And again, I picked the score this week. So this is a very easy pick for me, Cynthia, because I can do a little bit of math, at least addition. More than 56.
You did math too. I love it. Okay, let's go with the next one. First half, more or less than 28 total points in the first half alone. Is it going to start fast? Is it going to start slow? What have we got going on here?
Can you do division, Hawk?
I'm trying. It's a lot harder than addition for me.
Can you do colors? Because I think red is supposed to be down and green is up. But it only took you 20 weeks. To try to figure that one out.
Well, I do have the green one up, Greg. I don't know what's going on your side, but I'm going with more than 28. I think the score at halftime will be 17-13.
I am colorblind. I'm colorblind. It really took 20 weeks for that to come out, so I totally apologize. I'm going more though. I'm not a smart guy.
I had less. I think defense starts, and then I think the offense happens in the second half. That's how I roll. All right, last one. This one is so important, so listen up. The national anthem, our amazing song. It's a duet this year. Is it going to be more or less than 2 minutes long? By the way, I'm changing my answer from Friday.
Okay.
Sequence
More.
changes everything.
More.
Would you like to know why I'm changing my
Cynthia.
answer? Because I saw some Twitter sleuths, people who were standing outside Raymond James, and they clocked it like there was a rehearsal that was going on, and they clocked it. So they clocked it at 2 minutes and 16 seconds. Hello, take the cheat code. Why not?
That really is cheating. I don't know much about Eric Church, but I hope they go over 2 minutes. Let's take a quick break. We've been longer than 2 minutes on this show, but we will have more coming up. Look at that, Super Bowl Sunday.
Do you want to add excitement to this year's Super Bowl? Play the new NFL Pick'em Party presented by Caesars Rewards to win exclusive prizes, including an epic 2022 NFL Draft Package for you and friends at Caesars Palace in Las Vegas. Download the NFL mobile app or visit nfl.com/pickparty to learn more.
Oh, I miss Vegas. All right, it is time for Gaining Greatness presented by Sleep Number. Let's make some head-to-head picks, and we're going to start it off with who has more passing yards in Super Bowl 55. Is it Brady or Mahomes? I'll kick it off. I'm going with Brady, even though I said Mahomes had the advantage, because I think the Buccaneers will be in a position late in the game where they're going to have to throw to make a little bit of a comeback, which is going to push Brady over the top in the final stat line. Cynthia, what do you got?
I couldn't agree with you more. I have Brady, and it's not even that close. I think it's like 25 yards different. I think the interesting point here is that they're going to rely on those deep passes. They're going to need those deep passes in order to best the Chiefs. And I like the game script that you mentioned. What do you have, Greg?
I have Patrick Mahomes. Man, I love the fact that Tom Brady at 43 years old has the respect that he absolutely could have the most passing yards. He had 500 once in a losing effort, but I like Mahomes to get it because I think both teams are going to throw the ball all over the yard, especially in the second half, as Cynthia talked about. And I give Mahomes the slight edge. Let's talk receiving. Who do you guys think will have more receiving yards, Tyreek Hill or Mike Evans? I am going to go with Tyreek Hill because the thing with him, okay, you can struggle in pass protection, but Tyreek Hill can catch a 2-yard pass. He can catch those little shovel passes, which are basically a handoff, and he can go 70. And I don't think Mike Evans is there right now. He's been a little up and down in terms of his continuity with Tom Brady throughout the course of the season. Tyreek Hill is their leading receiver, and so I think this is an easy one for me. What about you, Cynthia?
Couldn't agree more. I love everything you said about Tyreek Hill. My point is a little bit more about Mike Evans. He's going to be a red zone threat. And remember, the Chiefs in the regular season, their defense was the worst in the red area. So it's going to be those shorter passes, right? It's not going to be the deep gashes. It's going to be, those will be Chris Godwin. It's going to be Tyreek Hill more than that because Mike Evans is going to be used more in that red area.
I'm flying solo on this one. Play the sound. I'm going with Mike Evans. I feel like Tyreek Hill, the last time they played in week 12, he hit them for 269 yards as a defensive coordinator. There is no way that they're going to let this guy go off the way that he went off against them. They have to bracket him. They have to double team him. Don't let anybody on the Chiefs beat you that is Tyreek Hill. Everybody else outside of him can beat you, not Tyreek Hill. All right, next up, we're sticking with the receiving yards theme. Who's going to have more yards? Is it Travis Kelce or is it Chris Godwin? I'm going with Kelce because it ties to my last point. They're going to try to take Tyreek Hill away, and they're going to give them Kelce because he can do a little bit less damage because he's not as much of a home run hitter. So I expect Travis Kelce to have a huge day because they're going to be so worried about Tyreek Hill, Cynthia.
Couldn't agree with you more. Now, when I look to see how Patrick Mahomes could get pressured or where he has any sort of kind of, I don't want to call it deficiency, but an area of stats going down even a tiny bit, it's when they don't blitz, but they're able to bring pressure. So if they are able to bring any pressure without the blitz, they're going to have Travis Kelce open in the middle, which means that they're going to make sure, Travis Kelce, let's go. That's going to be kind of the primary target.
Well, I'm flying solo this time. I don't have a nice little sound effect or anything, but I'm going Chris Godwin. If you wanted to, okay, thank you. If you wanted a sneaky MVP candidate, I think it's Chris Godwin. Man, he reminds me of a little bit smaller, but Anquan Bolden in his prime, and I just think he could go off today. And I'm looking forward to watching him play. He's one of the most underrated physical receivers in the league. He can do it all, short, long, anything you want. It's all about Chris Godwin. Let's talk about some more receiving threats. Rob Gronkowski, who Cynthia talked about, or McCole Hardman, who's had some big plays throughout his playoff career in a short career. I'm going Gronk. It was a tough one. Cynthia really convinced me earlier this week about this matchup against the Chiefs. Tom Brady would love to get Gronk involved. Even the last Super Bowl, where Gronk was not even as healthy as he was now. They couldn't move the ball for much of the game. Who was it in the fourth quarter that Brady looked to? It was Rob Gronkowski. He'd love to go to the big fella on the biggest stage today. What about you, Cynthia?
Yeah, I have Gronk. I think I made my case for liking Gronk earlier, but my other thing that I'm looking at interested in this one, I do think that Spagnuolo will dial up the pressure, which means more opportunities for Gronk. And I like the sneaky McCole Hardman opportunity here because he did have the yips last game, and Andy Reid is known for redemption. Give him the ball early. I just think Gronk will have more opportunities throughout the entire game.
I'm flying solo again. Cue the sound up. I'm going McCole Hardman. This was a tough one for me for the reasons that you guys mentioned. We know Gronk is Tommy's guy, but at the same time, this isn't the same Gronk from years ago when he was playing in Super Bowls, and he's roaming around in that area of the field that the Honey Badger is in, so it's going to be tough for him. I think McCole Hardman has just a few big plays that get him a ton of yards from Patrick Mahomes. All right, next up, we're going more rushing yards. Is it Williams or Ronald Jones? I'm going to go with Williams because I think that he's primed for a big game. He's been big down the stretch. I do think the Kansas City Chiefs will run the ball more than people suspect because the Buccaneers are putting so much into stopping this pass game that's similar to how we've seen them versus the Bills. Although it was rainy early in the season, they just went to the run heavy early and often, and I think Williams has a big game on the ground. What do you got, Cynthia?
You know, I think all of the running backs don't have like huge numbers. There's not one that really stands out, but I do have Ronald Jones getting the most rushing yards. Why? Because we've seen playoff Lenny. We understand what's going on there, but I think they're going to have to try some new tricks to really exploit a weakness in the Kansas City defense, and that's against the run. So Rojo, and where he's been really good all season long, and where he's had, you know, the interesting next-gen stat of yards over expected, he actually is 5th best in the entire NFL in that metric. So that's the kind of thing where Bruce Arians will rely on it. Byron Leftwich will rely on it in this one. Leftwich, I can say his last name just so we're clear. And that will be something that makes a difference in this one. So not by a ton, but I have Rojo.
All right, I'm going Ronald Jones too. It was a tough call, but you know, when Darrell Williams doesn't even have the respect of Hawk being able to say his first name because he's like, which Williams is it? It was like they had Damian Williams last year, now it's Darrell Williams. Like that's how faceless this Chiefs backfield is right now. You know, the Chiefs have run the ball pretty well in the playoffs, and Darrell Williams has been at front, so it's a tough one. But I think Ronald Jones is really, really talented. When you watch him, he's just a great pure runner. Cynthia mentioned the stats to back it up. So I'm going to give him the slight edge. Finally, another running back matchup. It is Clyde Edwards-Helaire versus Leonard Fournette. Who has more rushing yards? And I'm going to go Edwards-Helaire. They drafted him in the first round for a reason. He's had a couple weeks to digest this, game plan, get healthier. I know they call him playoff Lenny, but to me, Edwards-Helaire can do a little more. And this would be a time to use him. I know Darrell Williams has been the main guy the first few weeks. Would not surprise me if CEH is the primary ball carrier on Super Bowl Sunday. What do you think, Cynthia?
Yeah, I have Leonard Fournette, but not because I don't believe in CEH. But when I look to see the fact that they're going to need to run the ball a little bit more because they want to keep Tom Brady out of those weird situations where he's in obvious passing downs, the Chiefs can rely a bit more on their multitude of running backs where they're just going to have to rely on the two. There's only 2 for Tampa Bay. So realistically speaking, the rushing yards that maybe Patrick Mahomes will scramble and steal are not going to be stolen. So that's why I just have a slight edge for Leonard Fournette over Clyde Edwards-Helaire and all these French last names. What do you have, Hawk?
There's nothing even left to say. You summed it up perfectly. I agree with the Leonard Fournette take, and he's been good down the stretch, and I think he has a big game in the Super Bowl, at least more than CEH, who sounds like an airport, but they're both ballers. All right, listen, that was Gaining Greatness presented by Sleep Number.
The greatest player ever in NFL history.
Every single play except the challenge.
And the Super Bowl 54 champions are ready to take on the Buccaneers.
Caught Mike Evans, touchdown Tampa Bay. There you go, Tom Brady.
What do you need? A touchdown from the cheetah.
They need help. What a great grab by Gronk. Holy guacamole.
He's going to be stopped and sacked.
98-yard touchdown run by Ronald Jones II.
A new wrinkle to Kelsey. Zeus drinks from the sweet nectar of the end zone like a well-oiled machine.
Fournette refused to go down.
The jet on a short flight.
Nice job, boys. Way to hang in there.
And it's human pyrotechnics dressed in red.
Hot ball. Chris Godwin.
Yes, sir. Pringle. Russell 102.
Some more.
Caught by Antonio Brown. Will score a touchdown.
Hey, we don't let up.
Interception, Buccaneers.
Money.
I'm going to put the dagger in.
It's football.
It is time now for our Super Bowl 55 picks and who you got delivered by Pizza Hut. The Chiefs are favored in this matchup by 3, and I'm going with the Chiefs. I have a score of 34-30. I just think they are too talented. Patrick Mahomes is a stud. He's 25 years old, and there's really no real way to stop him. I do think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have a great game, specifically Tom Brady, the GOAT. But I think it's one of those games where we'll look back and say, that was the moment it became Patrick Mahomes' league. Cynthia, what do you got?
Ooh, I like that. First, we have Aaron Rodgers getting unfianced or whatever, and then we have Patrick Mahomes getting the torch from Tom Brady. My goodness, this is just going to be great. I actually also have that happening. 29-28, just a 1-point win for the Kansas City Chiefs. Lots of good things going on, lots of stuff for us to be happy about, but really a nice close game so that we get to end this season the way that it deserves, entertaining us and making us reminded why we love football so much.
I have a very similar outcome, 35-33 for the Chiefs. Bucks fans, if you're out there, we're on meme alert. Let us know. See, Bucks fans aren't that annoying, though. They wouldn't do that. That's more like a Bears, Bills fans thing. Sorry.
They're partying too much right now.
Right. 35-33. I really think this is a game where maybe the Chiefs defense actually makes a couple big plays. They've really stepped up in the playoffs. I know I have them giving up 33 points here, but they got a lot of pressure on Brady in week 12, and they got a lot of pressure on Josh Allen and did a good job against the Browns. So I think that's the slight difference. And that was Who You Got, presented by Pizza Hut. What a joy to say that to wrap up this season.
My name is Dan Hansis, joined in a room filled with heroes, Mark Sessler, Chris Wessling, Greg Rosenthal with the Pocket Square. What is up, boys?
Hey, Dan.
Hey, Dan.
Hey, Dan.
Hey, Dan.
Hey, Dan.
Skill and Valor, also known as
Win Wes's Toaster.
In a big spot.
An 8-3 team on a 6-game winning streak?
I'm gonna look it up! Jesus Christ.
The live show success, the meetup, even more of a success.
You guys have sat beside me for 700 shows. You sat beside me for a grueling battle with cancer. Will you stand beside me on the most important day of my life?
The wine is blue because we're having a baby boy!
Oh, look at that. Something is always lost in art or experience when you analyze it. Mark Twain, once he became a riverboat pilot and learned the technical side of it, the Mississippi River was no longer beautiful for him. If I was to hire a sports writer, the first question I was going to ask him is, how do you reconcile the essential meaninglessness of sports? I mean, how do you reconcile watching young men bang into each other and try to advance an inflated pigskin against marked territory? I mean, that's what you're doing. How do you reconcile the importance of that? And I think it's like Shakespeare's poems or Beethoven's Moonlight Sonata. This is going above and beyond. At its best, sports is look at what humans can do.
My thanks to Matthew Zickus, who put that together, a beautiful tribute for a beautiful man. I think about Chris Wessling in relation to this show, guys. Game debut, we're always arguing, but like that was how I got to know Wes, was just arguing. There is no one I loved arguing about picks, about football, about anything with than Chris Wessling. You guys are too nice to me compared to him. Like we would go back and forth, and we loved each other, and there was always great love at the end. So that's what I'll be thinking about today when I'm watching this game.
I am literally sitting in the seat that he sat in. I just realized that. And he was always so amazing to me. Same with Lakeisha. And I mean, I didn't get to work with him as much on camera, but always off camera, like one of the most amazing human beings on the entire planet. And I take this fact that we could probably not be in this studio again next season. It's probably not going to come back. And I get to sit right here. I take that responsibility really seriously. So what a great human. We have a responsibility to Lakeisha and Link to let them know exactly how special he is.
Beautiful words from the both of you. A tough year, just got a whole lot tougher for the NFL family. Thoughts and prayers to his family, his lovely wife, Keisha, and their beautiful baby boy, Link. That's it. That does it for us this year on Game Day View. More or less Game Day View, less. We will see you next year. It's been an incredible season. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for everyone behind the scenes who puts this on. Thank you to you, Cynthia, you, Greg. You guys are champions. Love you guys. Miss you. Can't wait to give you a big hug. Enjoy the Super Bowl, everybody.
Love y'all.
Peace.
That just hasn't been the history of Tom Brady in Super Bowls. And so I think there could be a potential of a little sluggish start for the Tampa Bay Bucs. So I'm with you. I think this is a low-scoring first half, but it ends up picking up there in the second half when we do see it hitting the over.
I love the under 27.5 for that first half under. I like the under on the total of the game. I think the first half, I mean, it's the biggest event of the year. I don't care how many times you've been there 10 times for Tom Brady. He's still going to be amped up. I don't care if you're 25 and you're Patrick Mahomes and you're naive. There's still a ton of emotion that goes into it, and that makes you play a little bit tentative. You're kind of figuring each other out, maybe a little bit conservative. You don't want to, make a big mistake. I think that's human nature. Coaches don't want to, make some screw up that costs you some points there. So I think there's a little bit of a punch, back and forth early in the game that slows it down. And I love the first half, but I think even in the total, I don't think we've talked enough about the defenses in this matchup. Defense used to win championships. Now it's just enough defense. And I think the Bucs will hold that Kansas City offense in check.
And remember, you got offensive guys who are excellent at making adjustments. So maybe, again, low in the first half, and maybe they make some adjustments. Andy Reid, Arians, and then maybe, again, I would not be surprised if it's over-under for the game, but I do like that first half under. Excellent job all day long. Well done, gentlemen. Those are our quarterbacks. So here you go. I don't agree. I mean, look, this is a tough game. I don't really love the side. And I don't love the total. What I love is the first half under if I have to go there, but it's really the props where you're going to play and make some hay. That's where you may have some value. Our guys are going to give you even more because they've given you props all day, but now we're going to make them pick the most popular wagers, the side and the total. It's Todd Furman, it's Kenny White, it's Emery Hunt. Todd, you're going to go first here. This opened at 3.5 and went down to 3. And I feel like the books have been a little bit hamstrung because there's no 3.25, which is almost what they would like to do here. Talk to you about 3.5, and who you're going to take in terms of a side.
I mean, EK, you might be onto something here. Maybe we try and convince the folks at William Hill to be the first U.S.-based shop to offer the Asian handicap when it comes to NFL games. So I can get a little at 3.25, and that way I'd push part of my bet at 3, and I'd win the other at 3.5. A soccer reference for those not indoctrinated to the language. But when I look at this game, I did grab a little bit of 3.5 when that number opened. I didn't think that number was going to hold all week long. And so ultimately, though, I still think there's a little bit of opportunity at Tampa plus a field goal here. I made the game, once you factor in home field advantage, a shade less than 2.5. As far as the total is concerned, I think that's a touch high as well. And we started to see some under money come into the market. I know William Hill has held strong at 56, but there are some 55.5s out there. Ultimately, when the dust settles, I think Tampa finds a way to make one more play offensively. Their defense does just enough. And we're talking about the Bucs winning this game somewhere in the ballpark at 31-23.
Yeah, the line's really right now is sharp at -3 on Kansas City. I'm seeing some 3 -105. So if you like the Chiefs, there's a bargain value out there because mainly the money coming in as of late has been a lot of Tampa Bay money. Earlier, when this line first went up at the beginning, there was 3.5s, and the professionals were jumping on every 3.5 they could. Then it would take accumulation of money from the general public to drive it back to 3.5. The wise guys would jump on that plus 3.5, and they won that battle. I didn't think they would. I really thought this game would close really maybe 3.5 because that general public money would take over. But we've seen the percentage of bets on the Chiefs go from 70% of the tickets to now 59% of the tickets overall in Kansas City. I think it's very well balanced. Sportsbooks that I'm talking to, most need the Chiefs to win the game by 1 or 2 points and go under the total, even though there's been a lot of money for the under as of late. But I think most of the parlay money is Chiefs and over or Tampa Bay money line to the over.
You can change your game plan. You can change your scheme. You cannot change your personnel. The Bucs still have the same personnel that they had 70 days ago when the Chiefs ran roughshod over that secondary. I think that's going to happen again. I'm laying those points with Kansas City. I will also take the over. And we have to be honest about what we've seen so far in the playoffs with Tampa Bay. Turnovers helped them out against New Orleans when New Orleans was on their way to blowing them out. Turnovers and Kevin King helped them out against Green Bay. This is a football team in Kansas City that's very dangerous on offense, and they have the same type of opportunistic defense. So I would take the better offense, more consistent offense in Kansas City. So I'm laying those points and taking the over.
Kenny, those folks who are taking Tampa on the money line, to me, the smarter play would be to go to William Hill and take Tom Brady to win the MVP at plus 200 instead of the plus 135. I mean, I look at the percent chance that it's somebody other than Tom Brady that wins the MVP in this offense with how they run things, and it is not going to take the value away on that one thing. I'll buy that away. I'll take the plus 200 on William Hill with Brady to win the MVP if I like Tampa to win. All right, total is 56. I've said it's on blue in the face. I don't want to play the 56. I want to play the under 27.5 in the first half. Todd Furman, I say 56. You say what?
I'll one up you, EK. If you can find a 10.5 in the first quarter, I'd be inclined to go there as well, thinking that you may see this game start a little bit slowly. And you have to go all the way back to Super Bowl 32 to find the last time that we saw an opening drive touchdown that didn't come on a kick return. And that was Brett Favre to Antonio Freeman. I'm going to go under the total full game. I look at this, and I just think this number is a touch too high.
Yeah, I think it is as well. It's a pressure-packed game. We talk about it's a heavyweight title fight early on, and teams are filling each other out. We've talked about it all the 2 weeks. Totals over 50. The last 7 of them, 6 of the 7 have gone under. And it's because these offenses are great, but they don't want to take a chance early because they don't want to be the offense to make the first mistake in the football game. I can see that happening very easily. I can also see this game should be won in the trenches. And personnel does change a little bit, Emery. Vita Vea wasn't in that first game that they played, and he is such a huge difference maker on that defensive line for Tampa. One of the best run-stop defenses in the NFL, and number 5 against the pass when he's in the lineup. So I think that's the difference that Tampa needed. They're better on an offensive line. They're better on the defensive line. And Patrick Mahomes is the best player in the game. But this only comes down to the wire, and I think it stays under the goal because Tampa's able to run the football in this game.
Yeah, I'm going over unless Kenny is counting on Vita Vea being Reggie White out there. I don't see it happening. They're going to throw the heck out of the football. I see it tighter, though. 31-27, I'm taking the over.
there you go, gentlemen. Well done on that. By the way, Emery, you're right. The skill position guys are still the skill position guys. And Kenny, you're right. The trenches are different. Vita Vea and the offensive line in Kansas City, not the same group. So I can see it either way there. All right, straight ahead. What's your best Brady bet? Or your best Mahomes? Or Tyreek Hill? Or Kelsey? Your favorite player's best bet coming at you so you can enjoy the game rooting for your guy. Straight ahead. Yeah, HQ.
Okay, everybody ready? 10, 9.
Greats take it as an article of faith that the best is yet to come. So, here's to the greatest player we don't know yet, the greatest play we haven't seen, the greatest beer you maybe haven't tried, and the greatest year that's still ahead of us.
Don't make an amateur move. Go pro at Subway for double the protein on foot-long subs and new protein bowls. And if you want to go pro like Marshawn, you got to feed virtual Marshawn too. Thanks for the foot-long, IRL Marshawn. No problem, tiny virtual Marshawn. Well, how do I eat this? Just put it in your mouth. Feast mode. Feast mode. Feast mode.
Good call. Go pro and get double the protein for just $2 more on your favorite sub or new protein bowl. Subway, eat fresh.
Calling it a day, Carrie?
Oh, no, there's more.
Like what?
There's more to Carrie Underwood. And I should wrap by midnight.
Impressive.
And there's more to Body Armor Light with natural sweeteners, no sugar added, and only 20 calories.
Well, you wanted the quiet life, John. Dead batteries, empty streets.
Welcome to Advanced Auto Parts.
I need one of those.
I'm coming for you!
Happy trips.
Keep this car moving. Whoa!
Most of all, let's remember all those who we've lost. So please join us, the Kansas City Chiefs, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and the National Football League in a moment of silence for the more than 440,000 Americans who lost their lives to this pandemic and for their loved ones that are left behind.
Thank you.
In our finest hour, our greatest fulfillment of all we hold. The road has been rough. The load heavy. And nothing from hell to sky has turned us back. We did not get here alone. We arrived as one. With courage. With stamina. With teamwork. And after all the cheers have died down, the stadium is empty. After the headlines have been written, the measure of who we are is what we do with what we have.
In celebration of our
And I firmly believe in our finest hour, our greatest fulfillment of all we hold dear is that moment when we work our hearts out in good cause and lie exhausted on the field of battle victorious. Because it's not whether we get knocked down, but whether we get knocked up as one.
Signing tonight's performances is Warren Wawa Snipe. In celebration of our country, performing America the Beautiful, please welcome multi-Grammy award-winning artist, Her.
More veterans can reach victories great and small. My victory is just being the best that I can be. Support more victories for veterans.
Toyota, proud Parsay.
Okay, good people, I have had a blast hanging out with these guys and hooking you up with Super Bowl commercial greatness. Now, let's get back over to Danny and Boomer and find out who's going to be the big winner.
More awesomeness.
To shine and see.
Am I right, Boomer?
You know it, Danny, because when we come back, you and I reveal which of our two files. For our story, 20-year history will take home the title.
To shine and see.
Presenting the colors this evening is a joint service color guard from the military. by drummers from the United States Army Field Band, Washington, D.C.
Halt! Present! Halt!
To honor America and perform our national anthem, please welcome Grammy-nominated country superstar Eric Church and multi-Grammy nominated recording artist Jasmine Sullivan.
Oh, say, can you see about the dawn's early light? Walked so proudly at the twilight's last broad stripes and bright stars through the rolling sky. Hearts we won, we're so glad to stream
Absolutely amazing and inspiring. The coin toss is next. Super Bowl 55 on CBS, minutes away.
On March 5th.
How did this world get so broken?
I believe that we can be unified again, but someone has to take the first step.
All right, Tuk Tuk. Let's go.
From the studio that brought you Frozen.
Hold on. Oh, we were doing a jumpy thing. So sorry, my bad.
Raya and the Last Dragon, rated PG, in theaters or order it on Disney Plus with Premier Access, March 5th.
I wasn't born in the spotlight. Nah. Had to grind to shine like a star on a hot night. And something about the struggle now resides in my muscles. And every trial and trouble helped to hang my hustle. Real rock stars don't chase the spotlight. It chases them.
Okay, I got your W-2s. Just a few more questions.
That's Dave, a free TurboTax live tax expert.
Why do you need a tax expert?
I've always done those for you. My taxes are different since I moved out. Besides, Dave's advice is free, and I can file for free.
Hey, Dave, if my son still eats my food, does that make him a dependent?
No. File a simple return for free, now with advice from a TurboTax live expert.
Welcome back to Tampa and Super Bowl 55, and now let's send it back to public address announcer Alan Roach.
Number one with a Coke? Thanks.
Coming around.
Please welcome the captains. From the Chiefs, Travis Kelce. And from the Buccaneers, Lavonte Davis. And tonight's referee, Carl Chapper.
You're number one with the Coke?
Thank you.
Enjoy.
Many great stories begin with once upon a time.
Today,
That simple
we
phrase
honor
makes you
our
listen
three
a little
captains
closer.
for their
Well,
actions
once
and
upon a
impact
time,
in a
there were
time of
those that came from
uncertainty
small
and
towns and
need.
big
They've
cities.
taken the lead, exceeding
And when
all
faced with
expectations
adversity,
and
they carried
limitations,
on.
uplifting their communities and neighbors as leaders, healers, and educators. James has felt the wounds of warfare, but this warrior still shares his home with at-risk kids. During COVID, he's even lent a hand live streaming football for family and fans. Tremaine is an educator who works nonstop, providing his community with hotspots, laptops, and tech workshops so his students have all the tools they need to succeed in life and in school. Susie is the ICU nurse manager at a Tampa hospital. Her chronicles prove that even in tragedy, hope is possible. She lost her grandmothers to the pandemic and fights to save other lives in the ICU battle zone, defining the frontline heroes, risking their lives and impact in a time of uncertainty. These warriors, champions, they carry forth the call of our expectations. We celebrate them by acting with courage and compassion, by doing what is right and just. For while we honor them, James has felt it is they who every day honor us at-risk kids. During COVID, he's even lent a hand live streaming football for family and fans. Tremaine is an educator who works nonstop, providing his community with hotspots, laptops, and tech workshops so his students have all the tools they need to succeed in life and in school. Susie is the ICU nurse manager at a Tampa hospital. Her chronicles prove that even in tragedy, hope is possible. She lost her grandmothers to the pandemic and fights to save other lives in the ICU battle zone, defining the frontline heroes, risking their lives for our own. Let us walk with these warriors, charge on with these champions, and carry forth the call of our captains. We celebrate them by acting with courage and compassion, by doing what is right and just. For while we honor them today, it is they who every honor us.
Tonight, we celebrate our Super Bowl 55 honorary captains. 3 selfless heroes who've spent the past year helping others in the time of need. Please welcome U.S. Marine veteran James Martin. Educator Tremaine Davis. And from right here in Tampa Bay, ICU nurse manager Susie Dorner. Susie will do the honors of tossing the coin, and she represents the 7,500 vaccinated healthcare heroes with us tonight, along with those across the country and throughout the world. And now, referee Carl Chappers.
Susie, thank you for joining us for the toss tonight. And for all those heroes that are working on our communities, thank you very much. Captains, congratulations on earning the opportunity to play in tonight's game. Your achievement is represented on the coin that we'll use for the toss, with your logos on the tail side and the Super Bowl 55 logo on the head side. Kansas City is a visiting team. They get to call the toss. They have called heads. Susie, toss the coin. It is heads. Kansas City has won the toss, and they would like to defer their choice to the second half. Tampa Bay will get the ball this end of the field. Good luck, gentlemen.
It is the 11th straight Super Bowl that the team that won the coin toss defers. Kickoff is next on CBS. Thank you for watching the YouTube Life in a Day Kickoff Show. Here is a special look at Life in a Day, now streaming only on YouTube.
Morning, guys.
Way going, I don't mind.
I've killed my world and I've killed my time. What about yourself?
Çok çok şimdi. Bulutta bir bekle. Ahan kalın gel.
I want to have kids so bad.
I see many people coming after me.
I want them to grow up in a world that's kind.
It's the nigga. And if I feel true.
Why can't
Strangers on this road we are on. We are not two. We are one.
CBS Sports welcomes you to the following special presentation of the National Football League, Super Bowl 55.
Almost 2 decades ago, he rose to the top of the football world, and he was just 6 years old.
The greatest Super Bowl game in history. Back to back.
In the years since, stars in 2 generations in 1 title game. Brady, Mahomes, Super Bowl 55. It has all led to this.
Are you ready yet? Here we are. Kickoff a second away. I haven't said in a long time, this could be one for the ages.
Oh, I see what you did there. A little 97 call. This is a matchup that we're going to be talking about, I think, for a long time. We're going to touch on in this game. I think both these quarterbacks aren't going to lose the game early. They're going to both get their team back in it. We're coming down to the wire today, Jim.
Tonight's game being broadcast in Spanish. We're available using the SAP button on your television. 268 games to get here in this most challenging and trying of seasons. But through it all, we get to the finish line on time, and let's sit back as a nation and enjoy it. Butker to kick. Mickens back deep. Super Bowl 55 is underway with a run back 3 yards deep. Mickens straight ahead. And he runs it out to about the 24, where he's hammered there by Sherman, the fullback, out there on special teams. We'll bring out Tom Brady. Did you ever think we'd see him in this spot one more time? Well, here he is, and he tells us, Tony, we still haven't played our best game yet.
Well, if that's the case, then you're in trouble, Kansas City, because they've been playing fantastic. And I'll tell you right now, the plan for both these defenses, pressure the quarterback, get it out of their hand, make someone else beat you.
Fournette gets to start at running back. They fix it to him and comes to the other side to Godwin, who was tripped up. Nice piece of tackling by Breland, who has shown off his tackling skills in the postseason and holds him to a gain of 2. Here is the Buccaneer offense. The line, it's solid. The playmakers get underrated because we're talking so much about guys that can catch and run on the Kansas City side, Tony.
You're exactly right. And they've been able to be efficient in the running game. They're ranked 28th, Jim, but actually they're a really good running offense, and they can shorten the game, play action, and they'll run this formation a ton.
On a 2nd and 8, they'll ride it with Fournette, who's also had a big postseason. And he fights hard for a gain of about 3. This Kansas City defense of Steve Spagnuolo, can they get pressure today? That's his specialty in pass matchups against Brady.
He's had success. We touched on it earlier. In 2007, The 18-0 Patriots went to the Super Bowl, and Spagnuolo, the D coordinator for the Chiefs, he disrupted one of the great all-time offenses, and there he is. And he's got a plan, and it's going to be about some pressure, Jim.
3rd and 6, and here comes the pressure. They pick it up. The pass is out of reach for Godwin, and the Bucs will come off the field after 3 plays. They had opened at Lambeau 2 weeks ago by converting on 4 third-down plays to go for an opening drive touchdown, but they're shut down after this incompletion without picking up a first.
Talked about pressure. They brought everyone right here. Watch this. Bring them all over the place. Ball's got to come out. And it's just that 10th of a second you got to get out of that.
Bradley Pinion is the punter. Kansas City is dangerous in the return game. The only team in the league this year that had both a punt and a kickoff return for a touchdown. Hardman watches it bounce at the 30 and down at the 33. 40-yard punt will bring out Patrick Mahomes now. Going to set all these youngest to ever do so marks, but it was on this field where they had perhaps the most electrifying first quarter I've ever seen 10 weeks ago. He threw for 229 yards in the first quarter alone, with 203 going to Tyreek Hill as they jump out in front 17-0, and then would go on to hold on to win by 3.
Well, this is huge for Tampa. You don't want to get behind like they did the last game. Patrick Mahomes just will figure you out at some point, just like Brady. Both these quarterbacks have to learn what you're in, and you got to get them off their spot early in the game.
Quick pass, and it's caught by Pringle, who was backed up. We'll get some forward progress here, but Byron Pringle, who was raised here in Tampa, gets a catch in his hometown on the Chiefs' first snap. This is the big issue here, Tony, this offensive line with Eric Fisher out. Rimmers to the left side. Wiley moves from right guard to right tackle, and Wisniewski steps up to start at his spot.
And a lot of the great offenses in history in the Super Bowl, Jim, it's the front four has to create pressure. And if they're able to do that, that's how you get these quarterbacks, right? You can make them throw the ball early while you're able to play pass coverage, and it's huge right now because Pierre Paul's playing great, and so is Barrett.
2nd and 7. Sammy Watkins is active, and Boyd and Mahomes have no time to throw as Shaq Barrett got to him quickly and forced the incompletion.
And Barrett will come right off the edge, 58, and he knows. Reason why he's open is because Tyreek Hill's underneath him. As you see the stunt up front, great pressure. And that's huge. I mean, both these defenses getting stops against these two quarterbacks and offense is impressive.
Tommy Townsend, only his 2nd punt of the postseason. And it bounces at the 6, and an unlucky bounce it is for Kansas City.
We stand here in defiance. That's right. We the makers. We the groundbreakers. We the creators. The screamers. And dreamers. We defy expectations, perceptions, and misconceptions. We defy what logic says we should look like, sound like, be like. We defy genres, algorithms, and entire industries. See, we defy that little voice that says, oh no, we can't, with a roar back that says, oh yes, we will. Because to create the future, we must defy the logic of the past. We must defy logic. Call me by your name.
On Paramount Mountain, an extraordinary expedition begins. Heroes and truth seekers, leaders and intellects, world travelers, world champions, and also Snooki of the Jersey Shore.
This sucks. I'm too hungover for this.
Downtown Tampa Bay area hosting the Super Bowl for the 5th time. So much talk about Tom Brady's 10th. It's 19 years ago this week when he first played in a Super Bowl game. February of '02. Tony, you were a junior at Eastern Illinois. LeBron was a junior in high school. Mahomes was 6 years old and in kindergarten. First down play is going to be a running play with Jones. And Ronald Jones, who has an extra gear that Fournette doesn't. In fact, had a 98-yard touchdown sprint this year in the game against Carolina. Breaks that one for 13.
Yeah, this is what they've done a really good job. They've gotten simple as the season has gone on, and they run it very efficiently on first down, and they can shorten these games and run it, screen it, play action it, Jim. That's what they've gone to, and that gives teams trouble because it makes the game very simple for your offense.
By the way, Antonio Brown, who'd been questionable over the last 2 weeks, he's up. Here's a little toss to Miller, and he's knocked down by Frank Clark. A loss of 3. Tony, that sets up the Romo report with the Bucs on offense.
Well, and you go against this blitzing defense, the pressure. We saw it on the first third down. They're coming after you. The Chiefs, well, I want the Buccaneers to line up and make the game simple. We just talked about it, Jim. Just run it, throw some screens, keep the pressure off, and then play action it and take your shots downfield, because they've been a big play threat team all year, really.
2nd and 13. Gets it to Brate. He's nursing a back injury, and he was questionable coming in. They're thrilled to have him up. He's having a huge postseason. 11 catches, make that now 12 in these postseason games. Tom Brady was the first man, by the way, to walk on the field today. Came off the bus and didn't go to the locker room. He walked out on the field, just kind of gazed around, looked around, went back in.
I could see you were gazing at him, too, while he was gazing. Really well done by the gazers.
Antonio Brown is in this game. 3rd and 8. And they get to him. Brady is sacked back at the 29. Okafor coming up and jawing with Jensen.
That's just an outstanding job of fooling the quarterback. And watch right here. Sorensen, you're coming, right? We're all coming. We're all lined up right here. You can't really tell. They just pop out, double team the tight end, hit him.
Frank Clark, who got to him, Tony.
And he's been playing outstanding, Jim. Frank Clark in this postseason has really picked it up, as you saw with the play on first down and 3rd there.
Yeah, he had 2 sacks against Buffalo 2 weeks ago.
See that play right there? Here's the report for the Chiefs. Protect Mahomes early in the game. Your 2 tackles are out. This team's provided pressure up front with their front 7. So make sure he gets it out, feels calm, collected, gets into the game. Defensively, where's Tyreek Hill? He's right here. He's lining up on the bottom of your screen. That guy, somebody over here the entire game, one of these two better be watching him.